Well, say hello for the camera. I love it. I love it. Okay, well, my name is Simon.
It's one of those panels. It's good, good. I'm Austin. Hello. Oh my God, even better.
We are with the Double Takers, and we are your RTX ambassadors this year, everyone. So we're just gonna have a little chit chat with y'all while we sort of wait to get the panel started.
Just one thing. If you ever need glow sticks, ask one of the Guardians. We definitely want to have them for this, and
make sure they're cracked and ready to go.
Yeah, it's gonna look great. And then also, if you guys would, we just want to move on forward and kind of settle in. So if you have any space that you can, please do just come to the front. Yeah, yep. Oh,
those are safe.
Oh, well, yeah. In your case, you know, with discretion, please.
Y'all are so gorgeous. I'm looking out. I see colored hair. Thank you. I just did it for like the second time in my life, and I don't know if it looks good.
Well, for the 3 hours you spend every morning, it better look good.
That was private information.
Yeah, well, I was late.
So, we want to ask a few of y'all some questions. Who thinks they came from the furthest away? Right here.
Got one.
Where? Ottawa, Canada. Can anybody beat that? We got somebody over here. Winnipeg, Canada.
I don't know what that means. Is that farther?
Canada's all the same.
I'm bad at geometry, you know?
Where? Santos, Brazil?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to America.
Bienvenido, I think, is what they say.
Where? England.
England? I love London, England.
Right here. The Hilton.
Oh,
yeah.
See, that's the farthest because that's out of this world.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we're from Lincoln, so we were 12 hours away. And
yeah.
We drove.
Oh, hey.
Oh,
we got some
yeah.
Nebraska. Anybody here from Nebraska? Oh, fun. I am actually the Nebraska. What was I saying?
Well, you're like the guy that does the community stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm the
Nebraska,
community
obviously.
manager for that. So hit me up on Twitter, RT_Nebraska, and we'll get y'all involved, and we do stuff all the time. Not all the time, but most of the time.
If there's some interest, it'll help.
Yeah.
But yeah, things are just going really great for today, I think, and I'm just so happy that, for me, this is kind of like the zenith of the day, that we get to come here and celebrate and discuss and just be gay. Let's be real here.
Yes.
Right.
I've been looking forward to this panel for 3 years.
And you've came 3 times to this
No,
panel.
the past 2 years.
Oh, it's not been here.
Well, no, the past 2 years I've been a Guardian, and so I've had to work, and I'm just like, I keep missing the panel, and I need to go, and here I am.
Here he is. This is my first time at Rooster Teeth, so like if I have questions like that, it's because I'm ignorant beyond all belief of what this is.
Is this anybody else's first RTX?
Oh yeah! Oh, I love it.
I love it. Are you guys having a good time?
Oh my God.
All right.
I've been to many different conventions, and this one's by far the best.
By far.
I don't know, you just feel, hell yes. Yes!
Give a shout out to all the Guardians and all the events team staff and everybody. If you see them, thank them. They are working so hard, and it's awesome. What? Okay.
I also the food too. I don't know if this is really just a gay thing, but I'm willing to go out there and just say that food is very important. Yeah? Okay. Well, there's just some place where I'm just like, wow, this is a very heterosexual restaurant, and this quality, I might even describe it as heterosexual. And, you know, but when you get that sweet, sweet gay food, it's soul food, is it not?
Soul.
Yes.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I love it. Maybe not for me.
Definitely not for you.
Do we kind of want to talk about what? I have tried it, and let me see.
I can vouch for that.
Do we kind of want to talk about how we identify and everything?
Yeah, that's great. You go first.
So I'm gay. I've been out since I was 19. I came out like in college. Actually, the day I came out was the day of the Pulse nightclub shooting. I saw the news. I woke up that morning, saw the news, and the entire day I was just like red in the face with anger. And by the end of the day, I had seen people talk about how strong they were and how brave they were and how not ashamed they were, and they were fighting for all the people who lost their lives and everything. And that sort of like moved me to like a spot where like, I'm just gonna say it. And so I came out, and nothing's been better.
This is great. I've been out since, let's see, I would say the first episode of Pokemon that I watched. It was an episode where it was like Hypno was the plot, and out of nowhere, for no apparent reason and absolutely no importance to the plot, Team Rocket hang glides into the scene and immediately is expunged from the scene. But that was just, it flipped a switch. And I was awoken. And I mean, I think everyone noticed too. That was the other thing. There were other things, like I always choose Peach. Still Peach. Always in Mario Party, Mario Kart.
Everything. Not Daisy though. Daisy is the worst.
Daisy's the worst. Sorry. But honestly, like I just really feel like, so I identify as bisexual, and honestly, that's kind of been the journey that I've been going through. Thank you. And it's really interesting because obviously there have been a lot of other people that have been far less fortunate than I have to have people in my life that never really made me worry or concerned about these things. But I definitely thought you had to choose. I definitely thought that was the case, and then that was something that kind of came through in high school. Post-high school. High school, I was like, eyes on the prize. We're not even gonna deal with this. This is just, this is not the time, not the place for me. But yes, so I would say bisexual. I've come out to my family very recently. It's all been very good, very warm and accepting. And it's just, again, it's so great to be on the outside of that.
And it's great to see communities like this where everybody can just get together and woo at each other and have a great time. And everybody's so positive, and we love it.
So great.
We have a podcast that's called Gay. It's spelled G-E-A-Y, and
the hosts are gay.
The hosts are gay, but the topic doesn't have to be, but it can be.
It usually is.
It usually is.
Like all things in life.
Yeah. So we talk about some stuff on there with the community and everything, and I think you told a story about like Jessie from Pokemon on the newest one.
Did I? Wow, you're really putting memory in my mind. I mean, when did
she blacked out.
Like, when does she stop? Like, like that's the thing is that, and that's really what I've kind of channeled the energy. When does she stop? She doesn't. Jessie from Pokemon?
She's full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead.
All the time.
Fighting against the evils of truth and love. And, is that not what we do every day?
Yes.
Yeah, as warriors here.
That's is gay culture.
Yeah.
That is the gay agenda.
Right. It's the Team Rocket motto.
If we could have you guys dim the lights back there. Ooh.
Video.
Hey, you want to split that cookie? Huh? Wait. Oh. Oh, never mind. I thought, sorry. Oh, sorry. No, gay, me gay. Oh, me gay too.
Growing up in Tennessee, I always felt different. I felt like there was nobody who looked like I wanted to look or dressed how I wanted to dress. But I'm so thankful that my mother has always been there for me. She inspires me as a drag performer and as a human being. If I didn't have her support, I don't know where I'd be. But what I do know is that you have to find that one person you can be your true, authentic self with. I think sometimes it's so hard not to feel alone when you feel misunderstood. But what you have to start to do first is understand yourself. Believe in who you are and who you want to be. And you'll attract people that are going to feel the same way. That's called finding your tribe.
Hello there, my name is Chandler. I am agender. I use they, them pronouns.
Hello, my name is Timmy, also known as Timmy Tomato on YouTube. I'm a cisgender male and I am gay AF.
My name is Damien, I'm 21 years old and I identify as male and asexual.
Hi, my name is Amanda, I'm 19 years old and I'm
has been pretty chill, right? But there's been some stuff. Let's talk about that stuff.
You actually, I did want to talk to you guys about something.
What is it?
Well...
Let me guess. You got somebody pregnant. No, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah, I'm pregnant.
I knew it. And he's got that glow about him, babe.
No, I'm gay.
Honey.
I'd rather think about the good things that came from this. Like, you taught me a really valuable lesson. Just because I'm gay, people will hate me without knowing anything else about me. And I always knew that was part of the deal. I never expected it from my own father. Oh, and one more thing. I learned some really cool stuff about myself. Like, I'm tough. I'm really tough. And when I do stumble, I have the most amazing mom who's always right there to pick me up. So whatever, dude, I'm moving on with my life. I'm gonna be fine. Just really bummed out for you. You're gonna miss a lot of stuff, and that sucks. Because I'm pretty great.
Focus, children. It is time we remind the world who we are.
The house of abundance. Now give them some music and pose!
Pose tells the story of a marginalized community where people were ostracized from their families and also society.
The show really gets into the transgender ballroom scene in New York City in 1987.
The category is royalty. Where's the one and only?
It's about choosing celebration in the face of the darkest of odds.
I'm going to form my own house. It's my time, it's my dream, and I'm going for it.
Angel's in the process of identifying with herself in a way that'll help her better understand her needs.
Tell me about you. What do you want out of life?
I want to be treated like any other woman. It's my dream.
To be part of the largest trans community on TV in history is surreal. Jackpot.
We're defying barriers. We're changing hearts and minds. And we get to be voices for many people.
Houses are homes to all the little boys and girls who never had one. And they keep coming every day, just as sure as the sun rises. Baby, you are our secret weapon. And that is how you do a ball.
Is trans a big theme of the show?
Of course, and it has to be because 5 of our lead actresses are all trans women. So it's trans women playing trans women.
Wow.
Which has never been done before.
No.
Ever. And so like these beautiful women are finally for the first time taking center stage. And we have villains, we have shady queens, we have you know, threatening queens, we have violent queens, we have all of them. So it's everything.
Listen, so are you in it or?
I'm not. No.
You're a boss on this.
I am.
So
I know, it's so surreal.
What is your title?
I started off as a writer.
A writer?
Ryan promoted me in the pilot as a producer. And then now I wrapped my first episode. I directed an episode, episode 6, which airs in July.
Janet.
I know. I'm growing up, Wendy.
One of the reasons I chose to do the movie was there, and I don't know why, but there just still hasn't been. It's 2018 and there's not, you know, a major studio film about a gay high schooler. And it's, you know, I obviously hope that there'll be dozens more and they'll cover terrain that we didn't get to cover with this, and they'll be more specific in totally their other ways. But someone at some point had to be first through the door.
The category is love, life, pride.
All right, let's give it up for this year's RT Rainbow Panel.
Introducing, from the events team and on-screen talent, gay man Patrick Matthews.
From marketing, Austin singer and newlywed, Giselle Grayson, who identifies as bisexual.
From live action, editor on Laser Team, Sarah Jewell, who identifies as a queer lady.
From the art department and on screen, gay man Max Krumke.
From Camp and Nomad of Nowhere, and also a member of the ACE community, 2D animator Beth McKenzie.
From Ruby Chibi and Red vs. Blue, Greg Slagle, who identifies as a gay man.
Animation art director Pat Rodriguez, who identifies as bisexual.
From sales, lesbian Kayla Milton.
From engineering, developer and gay man Dom Sardina.
From the know, transgender pansexual woman Kdin Jensen.
Give it up for the producer of Always Open and on-screen talent, lesbian Mariel Salcedo.
And moderator for today, the head of Rooster Teeth Broadcast and the creator of Murder Room, gay man Patrick Salazar.
All right, let's give it up for Austin and Simon from the Double Takers. Woo, these lights are hot. How in the hell are my queer people doing today? All right, so can we get the lights up? I feel like the cops are on me or something.
Yeah.
There we go.
People.
I'm having flashbacks from the club at 2:30, so. All right, so welcome everybody. So happy to see all of you here today. Real quick, I want to know if we have any parents in the audience. Stand up, if you're comfortable standing up. Let's give them a round of applause. One of the things that, for those of you who are in the audience, the parents who are in the audience, it always starts with you. And, shit, I'm already crying.
We're like a minute in, dude.
Hey, I have toilet paper.
Yay! Thank you.
Did you steal that from Let's Play Live last night?
Preview. So what we're talking about today is the video that you saw are just highlights from some of the, what I think are some of the better queer-led projects that hit our screens this year. Do you agree? Yes. How many of you watched Pose? Yeah. How many of you are watching One Day at a Time? Awesome. There is so much out there right now, and it is so important that we as queer people take control of content and get our voices out there, and that's what today is about. When I put this panel together, and I asked from the company, like, who's interested, and this list just started building, and I started thinking, like, we need to make sure we have someone from every category, someone from every department, and holy shit, we have someone up here from, I think, every single department at Rooster Teeth. And not only that, but I believe we have someone from every category in our community. And that's amazing.
Pretty neat, pretty neat.
So I want to ask our panelists, like, what are some of the things that you guys are watching and that really resonate with you? That are projects that are queer-led. It can be film, music, whatever.
Steven Universe.
I was like, who's gonna say it? Yeah. We're all the animation nerds. Yeah.
I love Supergirl, and the sister is gay. Yeah. Shh. Spoiler alert.
Anyone else?
My world's like heavily based in music. So from like when Halsey put out her Ghost music video with like a straight and then like a lesbian relationship, my mind was blown at like the representation. I've had to quit a record label before for being asked to not be publicly gay. So like that, like in the mainstream music industry, was badass.
Okay, and I know you had somebody, right?
Oh, I have. Look, I'm just talking to you now, Patrick. It's just you and me, all right?
All right.
I tweeted about it a bunch. It's a manga series by a transgender woman named Chi, and it's about their entire journey. It's called The Bride Was a Boy, and it's absolutely amazing. It gives like every bit of information about like what it is, and it talks about the rainbow, talks about all the meanings and everything like that. It goes into a lot of detail. It's lovely. Seriously, couldn't recommend it enough.
I think one of the things that I don't know about you guys, but I feel, and what you guys think, is like there is so much content out right now that is getting it right about who we are. Granted, there's a lot of it that still can be improved, but still not. Long way to go, but we're getting better. Anything else?
Strangers on Facebook. It's not only queer, but also talks about, race and, I don't know, just being bicultural. It's really cool.
Cool. Kayla?
If anyone hasn't checked it out yet, Janelle Monáe's Dirty Computer.
Yes!
Yes!
All right. So before we go any further, we mentioned that we had a special guest today, and we have someone, here's the thing about coming out. We all know it's a thing that we do. And, it's a part of who we are. And there have been times throughout the year, this past year, that people have come to my office and they're like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I came out. And for me, that's incredible, because just to know that people feel comfortable and are still sharing that and still doing it and feel comfortable doing it in the company is awesome. When this guy came out to me, I was so happy for him and so surprised because I've been working with him on the spot for about 5 years now. And this year he told me, I'm ready to be part of the panel. So please welcome John Reisinger.
I don't know what you're talking about. He's obviously straight.
Let's get up.
Yeah.
Hi.
We're both in
We're good? We're good? All right.
Our butts are touching.
So, that was quite an introduction, wasn't it?
It was very sweet.
You owe me lunch.
Would you like some bathroom paper?
Is that one ply?
It's the convention center.
So it's one ply.
So, John, I'm curious, what do you make of all this?
This is amazing. I've come to at least 2 of these panels before. I've been able to participate in the audience. I appreciate the way you introduced my situation. I am, well, I'm John Reister, and I identify as bisexual, so there we go. Might as well get that shit out there. And while I am out with my friends, and I am out with all of the people that are, closely important to me in my daily life, I am unfortunately still in the closet to my own parents and even my ex-wife. Because I grew up in a house that just this wasn't a choice, wasn't an option. This wasn't even something that's presented to me. It's why it took me even so long in my life to figure out that I was bisexual, because I couldn't figure out why I liked guys, but also it's like, I like girls too. Well, I don't know what that means. I must be straight and just confused. And so, yeah, it took a little bit while, and one of the first people I ever came out to, in fact, I think you were the second person I came out to, was Patrick, because he meant the world to me and was a friend and a mentor and someone that I valued, and someone I felt safe coming out to, which was very important for me. The first person I came out to was Barbara, because, oh, isn't that the sweetest? I came out to Barbara in Bernie's house, which is a weird thing to say.
I should also mention you came out to me over brunch, which is so appropriate.
Yeah. Queer as fuck, love it. So yeah, I appreciate you guys allowing me to be up here and participate and get to be part of this awesome community. I've tried to be, even though I still stay a bit quiet about what I precisely identify as on social media, I try to be someone who's vocal in the community and try to promote queer shit as much as possible. I think I've made On the Spot pretty queer. I don't think the boys take their clothes off anywhere more than On the Spot. And I hold that as a medal of honor. I don't even ask them to do it, too.
As management, I have to tell you to stop.
That's the best part.
As a gay man, I'm very envious.
So yes, that's what I make of all this.
So, well, cool. So, John just exemplifies what we're talking about in that, when you identify as part of the queer community, and you are part of content building and even content partaking the way you guys are, it is really important to use your voice in that content. Mariel and I were lucky enough to go to Calexicon in Vegas earlier this year, and we got to see a panel from One Day at a Time where the showrunner and some of the stars and writers were there. And something really inspired me from that panel, and to talk about what we're doing here today, in that someone on the panel said that if there's something in a show that you like, whether it's queer, whether it's about Latino, whatever it's about, talk about it, comment, share it. It's really important to give feedback, because if they're doing it right, people need to see it. We need to see it. We need to know about it. Like a lot of these shows that you guys are talking about, I've never heard of before. And it's so important, because I can tell you, as someone who greenlights content and creates content, when I see comments about things that resonate with people, I pay attention to that. I look for that. It's one of the reasons why we started Always Open, because I started noticing how many women were coming to RTX, and I knew we needed a show that reflected what you guys want from our company and our community. So I'm going to ask the panel, like, what is it that in your jobs, are there moments in your jobs or anything like that where your voice has lent a hand to what you're doing, or you have some kind of input in what you have? Or do you have any of those stories? And I totally stumped them. Yeah, Kayla?
I work in the sales department, and we do brand partnerships, and I'm always pushing to try and get things done with female gamers, because I know that's sometimes an area that's lacking. So what I've been trying to push since I got here is a program that would highlight female gamers and Twitch streamers, and just a more diverse group of streamers. My personal favorite streamers, it's two girls, they're queer, they play story-driven things, they play a lot of gay games. I'm just super into it, and I'm just yeah, I feel that kind of thing can be highlighted the same way that I don't know, not the same way as a Fortnite, but like, you know, it should be able to be on the like an equal footing.
Do you know their names, the Twitch gamers?
Yeah, am I allowed to say it?
Yeah. Promote the fuck out of them. No.
Hey guys, check out Geek Remix on YouTube. Yeah.
Cool. Anyone else?
I know I don't really, you know, whenever I do any sort of like on the spot or always open, I don't really talk about my orientation ever and try to keep it cool, but it's something I'm working on, you know. No, I really like that it's kind of like whenever we're making content, there is that freedom to just kind of be as gay as hell, and then shockingly, like, nobody really comes down and says, like, stop that. Like, whether it's, like, from the community or, like, beyond, like, it's normally, the only mean comments I ever get are just, like, he's on that show too much. That's, like, it.
I'm sorry about those.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
To piggyback on sales, often, you know, well, every single time we get a sponsor for the shows, they send the sponsor to the showrunners to make sure we are okay with the product, we're okay with the supporting everything like that, which is fantastic. So we're not lying about things that we don't know or are against. And something that I've noticed happen in a lot of other people's marketing campaigns that I've had to kind of push back against is gender neutralizing how products are talked about, which is something that, you know, seems to be a common practice still in marketing. Fuck you, I can have the pink toolkit, okay? Which I do have in my house. Just out of like defiance. But yeah, I often like, if the product is fine, I'll say, yes, I want the product, but their marketing is very much like, this is a guy's thing. I'm like, fuck you, girls can like this too. So I will support this if I can be gender neutral in how I talk about it. And the same goes with, like, you know, how we talk about some of our, like, you can get your girlfriend this, and like, I'm like, well, you can also get your boyfriend this if you want. And so that's something that I've tried to do as much as possible.
Well, editorial, it's all about storytelling. So, you know, when I'm cutting, I'm like, yeah, I'm not using that word, cut it out. So most creators kind of forget what was shot, and so I kind of sway what the story is that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have pretty big sway in animation just because I'm the art director of the whole damn thing. I can't mention any like queer stuff because that's spoilers for like future seasons and things. But I mean, if that's any indication to you, then there you go.
Isn't that spoilers, Patrick?
Shut the fuck up, kid.
Patrick, we weren't going to announce my animated show Gay Town yet. That's it.
It is the most colorful show we've ever put out. But yeah.
I got us a gender-neutral bathroom here, so it's down on the Trinity Street. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That was my idea, so no big deal.
Well, I feel like Always Open is a pretty queer show. At least 25% of the time when I'm on it. Let me see. But I mean, I think we do, especially when we have people write in, we try to be as representative as possible. So I think like our new segment that we do, Please Improve My Profile, we've had, I think like we've done it 4 times and we've had 3 queer people on there. And it's not even that like we're searching for it. It's like, oh, well, like, well, we had a queer person on last week, so let's make sure we have a straightie on this time. It's just that's the audience of the show, so we want to be as representative of the audience as possible rather than just trying to like fit to something that we're not really a part of.
How many of you create content, actively create content? And how many of you work for a company like Rooster Teeth where you make content? There are quite a few people. Okay, she's working. She's trying to get in. Cool. Oh, sorry. Before we go on, we had so many people on that list that I was talking about earlier that not everyone could be on the panel. If you work at Rooster Teeth and identify as part of our community, please stand up.
Please stand up.
Way to go.
Yes, yes.
Fucking show off.
So one of the things about making content is that it's easy to make content that you want to enjoy, but when you're part of a company, you have to be, it's a collaborative effort. And one of the things that we learned at Lexicon from a panel was that when you have the opportunity to be in a room with other writers or other directors or other content creators and you're talking about certain things, it's almost your responsibility as part of our community, of the queer community, to make sure that you're saying something that your voice is heard if you don't like something about something. And that's something that for a long time we couldn't do. And thankfully, because of companies like Rooster Teeth, it is easier now for us to speak out and to say, this character is completely out of whack. And I've said that a few times on some of the things that have come to my desk. I'm like, this is like queer 1987. Like, this isn't how we talk anymore. This isn't who we are. This isn't going to fly. And you have to have that strength to talk about it. We're going to go ahead and open up the Q&A line. So if you guys want to line up, we'll start on that.
Slowly and orderly. Don't push anybody. Don't shove anybody. No
Everybody else got to give shout-outs on the queer stuff that they're watching and reading. Can I give some shout-outs?
Yeah, go.
One, if you want to listen to some political stuff, Love It or Leave It is done by John Lovett, who is a gay man and also gets a lot of people from the community and also a lot of women on his show.
Mm-hmm.
So recommend checking him out. He's also super funny. And I'm in love with Rainbow Rowell, A Red Carry On. It's that gay Harry Potter we needed. It's wonderful. There's even vampires. Come on. And then she's writing Runaways right now, which is a comic book that also is written with gay characters. It's wonderful.
And also to piggyback off of that, I know a few of you cheered for One Day at a Time, but it's seriously the best show on Netflix right now, and you should go. Leave now and go watch it. It's fine. I'm sure you all...
It's almost like they have phones that could watch it here.
Well, everyone pull out your phone. It's on Netflix. You can put it up. I think I can have an HDMI cable brought out. But seriously, it's one of the best shows on TV right now, and it's so well written, and it's so funny, and it's so... Patrick and I had the privilege of going to watch a live taping last week, and I got to meet Rita Moreno, and I'm still trying to get over it. It's fine. But I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a scene that happens in the episode, and it's just something that happens, and I looked over to Patrick and I was like, I've never seen that on TV before.
She had this look on her face like, what the fuck did I just see?
Yeah, but it was a good thing. It was, and when you get to the episode, you'll be like, oh, this is what she was talking about. But it was just something that I'd never seen on TV, and I'd never seen it done that way. It was done correctly, and it wasn't I can't get into any more details because it's a huge spoiler, but go watch the show. Seriously, I'm always tweeting about it. Go support it. And that show especially, they're constantly almost getting canceled just because it's a Netflix show. Not a lot of people are watching it. So please go watch it. Tweet about it. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Patrick,
right.
May I for a second?
Yeah.
I actually want to thank somebody real quick.
What's
actually, two people. Hey, Mariel. I don't really see you that often.
What's up, Kdin?
So, I don't know if anybody saw the episode of Always Open that I was on. Woo! So, 10 of you, okay. So, I was asked very early after I came out by Barbara. I was like, this is something I want to do. And then things went quiet for a little bit, and then Barbara's just like, okay, I think we have a good set, and we're ready to do an episode a little bit more serious like this. And Muriel immediately reached out. I was like, okay, what are you comfortable with? What is okay to talk about? What should we tackle? What should happen in this? And Muriel was super nice, super calm. We went through everything. It was a very lovely exchange. And then we had the episode. And of course, YouTube comments be YouTube comments. We know them. But afterwards, I did send an email to Barbara and Muriel, and I wanted to thank you a little bit more in person. That was, it's still the only time we've had anything quite like that, ever produced by the company. It still stands as the first. And first, I'd love to do more.
Oh, of course.
You just let me know when and where, baby.
And secondly...
It's a yellow diner. You'll see it. It's in the broadcast studio.
Secondly, part of that message was immediately after the taping, we said our goodbyes. Everything went to my car, immediately broke down into tears.
Oh.
Thank you so much for doing it.
So I wanted to thank Muriel and Barbara, who is out there somewhere for giving me an opportunity that, one, it was the first opportunity I've ever had, and like that, it still stands as my only opportunity thus far. But I really do appreciate it, and not only did you make me feel comfortable, but I still get messages today about that episode helping out a ton of people. I spent about an hour or so before this panel talking to a bunch of people who were just like, oh my gosh, I was just like, hey, you know what, I need to go on this panel, and I have eyeliner, and I need to not cry right now, so.
I got toilet paper, don't worry.
I'm not taking the one ply, all right?
But yeah, no, I mean, to that, it was just so important for us to have you on because the community was demanding it, and of course we wanted to have you on. So thank you for giving us the chance to have you on. It was, I think it was as special for us as it was for you.
I think that's a testament to, tell people if you want to see that kind of content, you need to be really vocal. It's exactly what Patrick's been saying. If you want to see something, it starts with you telling content creators across the board that that's what you want to see, and you want it to be not only represented accurately, but done by the people who are those people, not by people who are just like, well, I read a story once. I think I can handle this. I'm a writer. I know how to do this.
All right, well, let's get to some questions.
Hi. Actually, speaking of Rita Moreno, she's coming to speak at my university this fall, and I'm.
Where do you go to school?
It's the University of Central Arkansas in Conway, Arkansas. You probably
do you have like a spare bedroom or something?
We're all going.
I love
yeah, so I'm just like so excited. So my question is, what's your favorite like joke about being gay? Like I know my, because I know my friends and I have this one joke where it's like full moon, time for gay. Just what's like your guys' favorite things that you have with your groups about being gay?
My queens and I always we just type in all caps that like makes no sense all the time. I think and that's where always like that's how queer people type. Straight people don't type like that.
Me and one of my friends, we always like he'll say something like, "Oh, me and my boyfriend are gonna go get dinner," and I'm like, "Oh my God, are you a gay?"
Mine's actually my dad's, because he's very straight cowboy. But when he met my now wife, his wrist. Say hi, baby. He said to her, "That's all right, darling. I'm a lesbian too."
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Hi.
Hi.
First of all, because you were all talking about like TV shows, anyone here watch Sense8?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
That wasn't my question. I have two that are kind of serious. One, how did you guys figure out like where you identify? Because I stick with queer because I can't spend the 5 seconds of like, what am I really, like ever? And also, how do you come out to people? Because
I've got.
There's an old man, he lives on a hill. If you visit him, you answer 3 questions and take a dip in his magic pool, you will come out and know what you are. First question, next question.
And then you come to my office and tell me.
You go to Barbara first, then you go to Patrick. There's a line, all right?
So I have like. With the figuring the entire thing out, I would say that I exhaustively tried for a bunch of years to have relationships and sex with women, and it never, ever worked out. So that was clue 1. But then second was, yes, summoning, the god of gay from, the ancient rituals that we're all familiar with, and then doing that, that was about it. But no, my favorite thing is now I live in Bastrop. And it's funny because I'm trying to, see if people, when I'm talking to them, because not everybody always gets it because I'm so masked. But no, there's a lot of people for some reason that just don't get it. And so I like to throw in the term, because I refer to my husband as my husband, but sometimes when I'm meeting new people, and I would do this even when he was my boyfriend, I would be like, my partner. And it's funny because the women always get it, and they're like, Yeah, I got it. The men, like the straight men, generally never get it. Just like not ever.
What business are you in?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't get like this picture I have of Max's face after he's just had sex with a woman. No. I can't.
He tried. He tried.
I will
Okay.
say 2 words on that. Pushing rope.
I don't get it.
When I was trying to figure myself out, it was actually like a very long period, like pretty much all through college. And it was basically like getting to that age where it's like, okay, it's no longer just like cute high school couples, like you're actually like being sexually intimate with each other in college and stuff. And I was like, I don't get it. Like I feel really different and weird for not being into that. But yeah, it was like, oh, I'm a very internal person. Like I overthink things and I get like really in my head. So. And I also have a habit of like pacing around my room just thinking. So I like, yeah, so it was just a really long time of just like self-reflection. And yeah, eventually I was able to sort of accept my asexuality and be like, yeah, this is probably what I am. Yeah. So yeah, there a bit of an identity crisis there, but I got through it and I'm still kind of figuring myself out. So I don't think it really ever ends for anybody.
Do you mind if I ask how old you are?
Me?
Uh-huh.
I'm 19.
19? See,
I was
everyone your age is figuring everything out about life.
Can we get that over with yet? Or?
Yeah.
Girl, I'm 49, 48. Shit. What? I'm 42, and I'm. Are you? Bullshit.
I'm 19.
I'm
too.
48. And,
The way you dress, I figured.
Just you.
That was mean. I'm sorry.
Next question.
Take your time. Figure it out. When you're ready to come out, find other people like yourself. Make some friends. Have a good support group. Make sure that they're there for you, that you can count on them, because usually what happens, the first people you meet probably aren't going to be the people you want to hang out with. It just happens that way, almost always.
Yeah.
Find that group that you really feel, you'll know it. They'll just feel like family.
Online friends count.
Yeah, yes. And when you're ready, talk to them, tell someone who's very close to you, and get that support from your family and your friends. And then just keep going until you're ready. It's a process. Don't rush it. You'll get there when it's ready.
And it's okay to just be queer, also.
Yeah.
You don't need a specific label.
I would say too, as like a bisexual woman, like it can be very empowering to identify yourself as something, but you don't have to, and you don't owe that to anybody, and like no one has the right to demand that from you. So like take all the time. If you're 89 and you're still figuring shit out and you're still deciding what you like, that's fine. You don't owe anybody a label to put on you. 'Cause once you put a label out there, people will always try to shove you into what they think that label means. So like the evolution of that never stops. So like you're gonna come out over and over and over again in a million different ways, and what you love and what you like and what you enjoy might change as you grow and change as a human, and that is fucking fabulous, and it's fine.
All right. Thank you guys.
That was so good.
I didn't want to cry today.
Hello.
Hi.
So my name's Liam or Elle, depends on the day. I claim all the genders, they're all mine.
Yeah!
But one of the things I've been noticing is I've kind of been watching Rooster Teeth content a lot, and I've noticed that there's a lot more queer characters, specifically lesbians, like Ilya in Ruby, love her, Ohio and Sherry in Red vs. Blue, and one of the things that, like, and maybe Grimmins, who knows, it could happen, hoping. But
Don't look at me.
sorry, but one of the big things I haven't seen as much of, and I think Kdin talked about a little bit until she was on Always Open, is there's not as many genderqueer characters, and I was wondering, if maybe this is a spoiler, but also I want that because you said to tell people you want that. But is any of that like in the future, like even just a like maybe, like if any you guys know of any projects that could be coming up or characters, and if that's a spoiler, I have a separate question. I was ready.
Why not?
Right.
Like, that's the thing. There's no, we don't have any higher powers going like, no, no queer. Yeah, no, it's just a why not. It's just a matter of time kind of thing. It's just like, sure, let's just do this. It's not a thing where we're just like, we're gonna fight it all. It's like, no, we're completely open to it. Fuck
yeah,
it.
it's one of the reasons why it's so important when you are part of a content creating team that you share experiences. Because by knowing that Beth is part of the ACE community, like now I know someone in the ACE community. I didn't before. I honestly didn't. But now I think about that. Now that I know Kdin, you know, and so that's where this thing about using your voice comes into play, because you put it in their minds that like, oh, you know, we haven't done this yet. Why not this? So I think the answer is exactly what Pat said. Sure, why not? It'll happen. It just takes someone to say like, hey, how about this? We never thought about this.
Yeah, like you just said it, so it's just like, oh, okay, we can do that. Sure.
It's like we'll eventually have drag queens on a show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That would never happen at Rooster Teeth. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Hi.
I don't know how I would word this question. Do you guys feel like sexuality determines who your favorite characters are throughout media?
I'm sorry.
Because,
Yes, absolutely.
Because I know before I came out, at least to myself and like everyone else, especially for like Mario stuff, I was always about Daisy and Peach. I made this joke to a friend. We said that gay culture is liking like Tails and Rouge from Sonic, because
I'm sorry, when you said Tails, I was thinking something completely different. I'm sorry.
Damn. Come on. It's all about Knuckles.
No.
But no, just like as a whole, because not.
All right, roll it back, DeviantArt. Calm down.
I'm trying to bring it back. Not a lot of LGBT groups are like represented in media, so it's sort of, in a way, latching on to more straight stuff, if that makes sense, the way it's worded.
So it's been an interesting time watching media over the last decade or so, where it went from, when I was younger, it's like, if there's any gay character, like, I don't care what the show is, I don't care what it's about, if they've got a gay dude on it, I'm gonna watch it. Because that's like 3 shows. But now I feel like that's shifting a bit, because now there's more characters, so we don't have to kind of pick a Tails or Daisy or whatever. We can pick that character that is actually representative of us in media, and not have to latch on to something that's vaguely similar and we've all agreed on as being like the stand-in. We can actually see that representation, which is, I think, better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And on that, on like, because I remember growing up, and there was Will and Grace, which was like the first show with like gay characters, but it's kind of interesting because you had Will and you had Jack, and that was like the summation of the gay community. It was like you had like your masculine like quiet kind of like guy, and then like the loud one or the other. And it's funny because I really love that show, Happy Endings. Where Adam Pally plays, the character Max, but who's basically like, like a dumpster raccoon kind of gay, and I love it because I was like, I identify with that. It's like, yeah.
It's really funny because now lately, anytime I pick up a new show and I start watching it, my girlfriend's always like, "Oh, what's that show you're watching?" I'm like, "Oh, it's this show." She's like, "Oh, is there someone gay in it?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Dom, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I grew up like a closeted, really religious family, and so I couldn't watch Will and Grace, things like that. It would have outed me. So it was just watch whatever show had a hot guy on it. But now they kind of sneak a gay character in so many shows. It's like available to everybody, and I think that's really important for kids that maybe grow up like me or closeted and can't watch a gay show because it would out you. But there's one now on everything, so
yeah,
I think that's helpful.
Did anyone watch Looking on HBO?
Yes.
Do you remember that one? That one I liked because it seemed more modern and now. But what I didn't like was that every single person on there was hot and good looking.
Yes.
And they could hook up in the drop of a hat, and that's just not how it is. You know, it's not representative. And I was the opposite, whereas if a gay character was on and they were good looking, I hated them. Because it was like, I'm not attracted to you because everyone who looks like you is not what I know, you know? And that's why when, God, what was the show? There was a British version and there was an American version. Queer as Folk. When Queer as Folk came out, that's what I loved about that show is because that really represented to me what the gay male community was, and that was a little bit of everything. You know, you had the hot guy, career-minded, you had the younger guy, but you had a little bit of everything. And I think we're all human, and we're all, you know, we're attracted to nice-looking people, just like straight people are.
Right.
So.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Who didn't love it when they said Tracer had a girlfriend? Come on. That's Overwatch.
All Overwatch characters are gay. It's confirmed in this panel. We all know
Even Hammond, the hamster, is gay, okay?
I think that's bordering fairyism. So let's go say that, guys. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. So my question comes with a little tale. I actually work for a business that's more open about representing people who are queer and gay and everything. And it's the first time I've ever been able to like fully like mold myself into who I actually want to be. I have a name tag with my preferred name, and like I've told, the managers like my pronouns and everything, and so.
I have toilet paper.
Thank you for hugging. Thank you.
Here's a tissue. Thank you. So one of my difficulties I find at work is that I'll have to constantly like retell people my pronouns and everything because my coworkers, when we first met, I went by she and her, and so now I go by they and them, and I actually bought a button to put on where I don't have to say, because saying it is scary. But it's like, the question is, like, how do you tell people your pronouns without trying to seem like too selfish or demanding, and how can you do it, like, make it natural in the workplace, essentially?
I think part of it starts with education and getting an ally on your side. Because I'm glad you brought this up, because there's something within the community where we're all very different. You know, there's gay men up here, there's queer women up here, we have someone from the ace community, transgender. And we all don't always get along, and we all don't understand each other or try to support each other. And I know for me, I remember when I first heard about using different pronouns and the use of it, I didn't understand it because it's not my generation. But the more I heard about it and the more I listened to it, one day at a time was a big thing that helped me kind of like, oh, okay, I get it. I think if you can find someone at work that you communicate well with, that you get along with, take a break with, explain to them why this matters to you, that will help, because then you have someone else to spread your message. It's going to be tough because when you're part of a new way of doing things, it takes a long time. You know, for a long time, the gay community didn't like the word queer, and then all of a sudden, you know, we had to correct people like, I'm not queer, I'm gay. And now queer is back in. So, you know, it takes time. And you have to stay strong. But find your ally. Find that person that can help you spread your message, and it'll start spreading, and people will get it.
I heard this or actually read this quote on Twitter one time. I forget who said it, but like, somebody was like, don't argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. And I think that's really great advice. Like, don't waste your time with people who are just completely resistant and don't want to understand you at all. So it sucks, but I mean, it's good to have that mindset, I think.
Yeah, on this season of RBB, we had an artist who preferred male pronouns, and it was really interesting watching some people on the team who they'd never been exposed to that before, and they didn't really know what to do, and they're like, oh God, what do I do? what if I mess up? And I had to just kind of explain to people, like, no, do your best to respect the person, and if you mess up pronouns, like, apologize and correct it. But there's a huge difference between people who are just kind of adapting to something that's new to them, and what you were saying, people who are just gonna intentionally just be a jerk about it.
There's a lot of times where someone will honestly just make a mistake, and that will happen a lot. And I think that if you're someone, and this is more talking to everybody else, because I think you're doing the right thing. I think, it's like wearing the little badge. I think that's helpful. I think that's great. And I think that anybody who, it's like if you identify however you identify, normalizing those, it's like, oh, look, I put it in my profile. These are my pronouns. Even if it's something that's normal for you, that's how you all have always identified, normalizing just having that there makes other people feel comfortable. And it makes things just like, oh, it's not a weird thing to have that up there. It's just like, okay, that way there's no, it's like there's no confusion. You're not gonna mess anything up. But on the other side of things, when you're the person who messes something up, if you overly apologize and make a huge deal about it, it really makes things awkward for the person you're apologizing to when you're just going way too far. So you know what, just say sorry. It's fine. If you say, sorry, move on, done. When you turn it into like a spectacle, then it's just like, oh God, we're gonna do this today. I don't really want to do this today. I mean, it's like, yeah, no, it's fine. Okay, cool, we're done. It's one and done. We're good.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think it's important for the rest of us who are cisgendered and use pronouns. People expect to be allies to everyone else, because if you're around straights, they might be making fun of that, and it's important to us to stick up for our brothers and sisters and be allies.
And even within the community. I know I mistakenly used a pronoun the other day, and Mary was like, she. Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Hi there. So I've recently got more involved in the queer community recently because I attend a really liberal college, and I've gotten involved in the Gay Straight Alliance on campus. I am the secretary there, and I've gotten to know this really awesome community on my campus. But if you look at kind of like an outside perspective, I look very straight. And that's not to be like a weird situation, but when I come out to people and say like, hey, I'm demisexual or I'm a gender flex or anything along those lines, then they're just kind of like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I'm like, yeah, neither did I, so. But it's just really weird because like, again, from an outside perspective, I look very straight. I have a loving fiance, and he is male presenting, and of course, it's just kind of like, oh, so you're not straight. That's confusing. I'll have to write that in my little handy-dandy notebook here, or something along those lines. So I guess my question is like, how do you get over the fact of like, how do you present as like less straight in a situation where like you're surrounded by the queer community? So it's just like, I promise, me gay, I'm trying to help.
Just keep yelling honey at the beginning of every statement. No, but I don't know if I have a direct answer for that, but just in terms of like the different, like all the different ways that people are, explaining and communicating and classifying, I think all that's really helpful. And it was when I first started hearing about it, I was like, wait, what's all this now? Like, what's demi? And then it was funny because now, like, over time, I realized it's just a really great way for everybody to be able to communicate with each other so that we all end up in comfortable relationships, and it's great. But, yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think attitude matters. So I've gone to clubs where people have come to me being like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm at the bar with my friends. They're like, but you're not gay. I'm like, excuse me. And men have actually said, "You're too pretty to be a lesbian." And I'm like, but instead of getting upset, I've been like, well, that's the way that you're seeing it, but let me explain to you my situation. And I think being positive and being able to have communication matters, because if you just close them off and not explain your situation, I think they'll never really learn.
Yeah, I've been at gay bars, like wearing a shirt that's like a pride shirt, and people come up and they're like, "So did your girlfriend walk off? Like, why are you here?" And I'm like, I just want to not be single forever. It's fine. But I've had like people have argued with me over it, and I'm like, do I need to like call an ex, or like what do I do? But some of it's just that, like what we were touching on with the last question, that communication, kind of using shorthand, and it's gone beyond just being like, oh, I like dudes. Like now it gets a little more specific. But if somebody's not really wanting to have that conversation, like if they're not really caring about it, they're like, oh, that's weird. It's like if they don't really want to know, it's like, okay, well, we're not going to be friends, and you can move on.
To answer something you were saying specifically, there isn't a right answer of how you're supposed to represent. I understand I'm wearing a romper right now, and this can come a bit hypocritical. But I mean, that's my choice to how I want to look today. But I plenty of times just look like just a regular little straight boy, because that's how I like to dress. I like to dress sometimes just like that, and so. I deal with that a lot myself, and I totally connect with that. And the answer is internally, there's no right way. You get to look how you want to look, okay? Yeah. And you look great, okay?
Thank
Press
you.
it up. Thanks.
Hi. So my question is a little bit touchy, at least, but it's so really personal to me. So for me, I'm gay, but I'm also conservative / Republican. So I've been so nervous and scared to actually delve deep into this community, because I feel like I'm going to be either like ridiculed or hated for having different views. Because everywhere I look, I see hate on both sides for either side, and I'm just so afraid that there are people like Milo Yiannopoulos, like he's a gay Republican, but from a lot of people I've seen, he's just super hated, and I'm like, I don't want that to happen to me. I love and support and respect every single person in this room, even if I don't know you, but I want that back. I want people to love and respect me, even though I have different views. And I just want to be accepted in the one community and finally be myself. What can I do?
Yeah, I would say that I don't think you will necessarily be hated because you're a Republican or anything like that, as long as the way that you are expressing any of your views, whether it be your political views, whether it be your just personal views, your religious views, anything like that, you do it with understanding and empathy and care, and it's not laced with anything like vitriol or discord. So I can totally understand that that is a concern that I've heard from a lot of people from the queer community that lean towards on the Republican side or something like that. Totally understand that. But the only reassurance I can give you is that, one, there are going to be dicks out there no matter what, and I am sorry for the dicks.
That's the new...
That is the first time I have ever heard you apologize for
We're
that.
just going to roll with that.
That's the new Carly Rae Jepsen single.
Yes. And two, you are in control of what you do and not what other people do. And as long as you are proud of how you represent your views and your care for your people around you, that's all you can worry about. And I want you just to focus on that. I know it's stressful and full of anxiety, but that's the best that can be out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Also know that I think it is. And I'm sorry. Real.
No, go ahead.
Real quick. We're only going to have time for one more question, so I don't want to keep you guys standing in the back. So sorry about that. Know that it's not you personally. It is not directed at you. It is. It's a tough situation because it is a in a community where we're all trying to uplift each other and always have each other's backs, we need an enemy. And that enemy is the conservative side for us. So for a lot of people, it's going to feel like betrayal. And I'm just keeping it real. But it doesn't mean that you align with every single one of their views. And as long as you know that you are still aligned with this community, and whatever your other views, whatever they are, that's what you need to know. And it goes to what John's saying. And it goes to what we're all about as well. You know, we get a lot of questions about religion and families. And it always goes back to the same thing. You have to know that you stand in your own truth and that you align with what we are doing as a community. And as long as you know that, it doesn't matter what a preacher is saying to you. It doesn't matter what someone is saying about you, about your political beliefs. It is that you know what you're doing is right for you. And I say this time and time again, but it's so true. You have to stay strong and stand tall in your beliefs, because that is what gets you through life. And you'll find other people who feel like you. And those are the people who will build that community that you're looking for. The ones who look at you as a betrayer, that's not your community. They should be, but they're not. And it's because they don't understand you. They don't know you. And hopefully you will find that. Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So we have time for one more. I'm sorry, Patrick, who was going to say something?
Oh, I was going to say something.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying that, you know, I've got friends that are straight, gay, Republican, liberal, atheist, religious. As long as you're respectful and nice, you can stay friends. I'm fiscally conservative and socially liberal, and Max always tells me I'm a Dallas gay and I need to move to Dallas. So maybe
Yes.
move to Dallas.
He's going.
All right, so we have time for one quick question.
Okay. Oh God, mine was great. Hi. My question. Well, first I wanted to say to Mariel that I am like unbelievably inspired by you, and it's incredible just to like see a voice out there. I identify as lesbian, and for so long I have just known that like the voice of a lesbian is like very sad and downtrodden because she is, oh no, she cannot love men, it sucks. But you have always just been so humorous, and that just shows like so much joy in your life, and it's just like, it's incredible to see. So that's the sappy part of my question. The non-sappy part was I was gonna ask you how to flirt with women.
I feel like I need this lesson too.
Step one, John. I really have no idea.
I can tell you by watching from watching Mariel, have a few drinks.
Max?
She's 20.
I think, yeah, don't worry. I
That
can handle
answer
this.
Of I don't know is absolutely gay culture right there. No idea.
It's just gay panic at all times. God, I don't know. I've just gotten very, very lucky, honestly. I don't know what it is that I don't think there's anything I can tell you.
It's a no right answer question.
You realize we all are nerds too, right?
What? Oh, God.
Isn't there a Twitter for that? RTX Miss Connections, yeah!
Okay,
Woo!
RTX Connections.
Well,
I would love to help you find love at RTX, actually. I will make that my mission.
That's the next documentary.
Oh. Well,
wow.
Confidence is key, even fake confidence. Which
according
I
to
have a
One
lot
Day
of.
at a Time, you ask someone if they want to split a cookie.
Ah.
Just be complimentary. Like, that's never lost on women, especially, or men. Yes, honey, you are so.
Your hair looks great.
But yeah, just be complimentary. And
Swing and a miss, Mariel.
I'm out. I gotta go.
If you're like telling a woman like, "Wow, you're really beautiful," and they're like, "Oh, thank you," and be like, "No, you're really beautiful." You know? Are
And
you
then
okay?
then you can be like, no, you're really beautiful.
Don't do it that way.
Don't do it that way. Don't do that.
Don't slide.
All right, so we need to wrap up now. Thank you so much. Real quick, as we wrap up, next year is the 50th anniversary of Stonewall, which is highly important. 50 years ago, what happened here is what is now allowing us to do this. And if you saw the Pridecast, you saw us talk about this very quickly. This is the only photograph known to exist from that night. And the kids, the young people that you see in this photograph are actually homeless LGBT who used to gather around the Stonewall because that was the one place that we could be what we wanted to be, and that was dance with who we wanted to be, flirt with who we wanted to be with, go home with who we wanted to, you name it. And we've come a long way. We have so much farther to go still. And it's important. We've been talking about the content and about our communities and about finding other people who feel the way we do. It's important that you keep talking and you keep sharing and you keep commenting, keep using your voice. Vote in November. I can't tell you how important it is. There is a registration booth on the floor downstairs. If you haven't registered, please do so because your voice is your power. And do not underestimate the power that we have in this room. There is a lot going on. And if you want people in positions that will speak for you and look out for you, then use your voice, use your power, vote. When it comes to content, comment, talk about it. Tell people that you like this and you want more of it. It's really important. And if you are a content creator, it is really important that you speak up for people who are out there. The current generation of content creators looks like this. These are all queer content creators for YouTube. And this is what we need. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, it's the only photo I could find. But the matter is that we are getting out there, and we need to knock on a few more doors. If you are lucky enough to be in a room where you are a content creator and you have choices to make, I'm one of those people. If you're in a room and you can give someone else a leg up, do it for the right reason. And if you get that opportunity, use it to every ability possible. Make the most of it. Show them that they didn't make a mistake by giving us some part of our voice. Now, anything you guys want to share last?
So I was out there earlier meeting with a bunch of you, and there was something that was constantly brought up, and it was that, well, I'm just one person. No, there's a lot of you here. There's also a lot of you not here who are in support of wanting accurate representation, to see themselves in media, to see, their choices and their lives and everything accurately, not just represented, but, appreciated and understood. And so many times, I can't tell you, every RTX, every time, there's always people who come and it's like, well, it's like just tell people that you want to see this. It's like tell people you want to see this person more. Tell people you want more representation in this. Tell people I really like this more, please. And it's like, well, they won't listen to me. I'm just one. If you're one of those people who think that, stand up, take a spin around real quick. You're not one person. This is a huge community, and if you're vocal about it, then you will start other people being vocal about it. And when they're vocal about it, then it becomes more of a movement, and it becomes more of an accepted and normalized thing, and it's not like you won't be craving, the accurate representation. It will just someday be there because you used your voice properly and with respect to illustrate that, yes, I want more of this. Yes, I want to see this. Yes, this is good. No, maybe avoid that. But using your voice properly, telling your favorite content creators, telling studios, telling everyone and anyone, friends, family, everything, doesn't matter. Sharing that shares part of your story and helps everybody share part of their story, and then it becomes normal, and you won't sit there craving for content anymore. It will just be there for you. You won't have to go looking for it. There won't be 10 shows. There will be hundreds and thousands, and the people making them will be just like you, or they might be you. So you have to do that for yourselves, and you have to do that for everyone in the community.
So one more thing that I'd like to share with you guys, and then time to say goodbye. But some of you know that I'm engaged to my guy. And I was talking to Dawn about our wedding, which is coming up in September. And thank you. And I realized that as kids or as young people, I never saw a gay wedding. I was 30-something before I went to my first one. And we realized that sharing our ceremony would be something to give you guys inspiration. So. We'll be live streaming our ceremony on September 29th at 8 o'clock Central. Please follow me on Twitter. My handle is RTX, and I will share the URL with you then. Everyone at programming at Rooster Teeth knows about this, so don't ask them about that because it's not a Rooster Teeth thing, it's a personal thing, and we want to share this with you. So, and we're very excited. But thank you so much for coming out again this year, and thank you to the panel so much. And thank you to Rooster Teeth for creating a community and an atmosphere, an environment, a company that allows this kind of union to happen. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Team, form up! Now that we're actually going out into space, I admit it. I'm terrified of space. I hate space. Here they come. We're gonna go down in history as the destroyers of the universe.
So you're interested, right?
Hey, are there mustaches in Mexico?
I think so.
Yeah, there are. There's a lot of them.
Okay.
Too many people think that creativity springs from talent, and I don't think that's true. I think creativity springs from desire, from an idea, from I want to do this, from I see things this way.
We really give our students the freedom to kind of explore that creativity, but it's not necessarily constrained in what you would consider a traditional education setting.
Nobody comes to Full Sail to be average. They're coming here because they want to excel in their craft and they have something to say.
Are you running an op?
Well, you said to go to field trials.
I didn't say to drop him in the middle of a city. As soon as they figure out what he is, they will come hunting. For him and for you.
Given what we're seeing here, I believe you can stop worrying about Chase as much.
No. No, I think I'll keep worrying about him a little longer. How's he holding up?
Still adjusting, but full of surprises. We were very lucky to find him. He wasn't, but...
What about others? How's recruiting?
Problematic. There are some new possibilities, but we may need to get more flexible on the subject.
Wait, these are the only matches?
They'll have to do, won't they?
I don't see how we're going to turn this around.
Oh, don't give up hope yet. We're just getting started.
Hey, do you want to play video games for 24 hours straight and raise money for kids?
Yes! It's a lot of fun. I'm glad that I'm supporting a great cause.
The kids are going to be the future streamers that are going to be extra lifers.
The cool thing is we've been partnering with these guys for the last few years, and we've grown a really, really close relationship, and we've actually done stuff directly in the hospital that we can actually see.
My name is Curvy Llama. We're Jack and Katie.
My name is Good. This isn't Game Over.
Extra Life. Play games. Heal kids.